Hey, Mean Matt here. Hey, Mean Matt here. Hey, Mean Matt here. Hey, Mean Matt. Hey, Mean Matt here. So, yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna say this anyways. I really enjoyed the show. This was better than last year, and last year was a shit show, obviously, and I didn't expect to have a better show. And I know the circumstances in Saudi Arabia, but I really enjoyed it. I really did, and I hope that if you did, you know, and if you didn't, well, it's your loss. I mean, it is what it is, basically. So, you had the pre show, you had the take team match, the OC versus the Viking Raiders. This was really good. It was amazing to see these two guys from New Japan. I know Michael Cole said that Viking Raiders or War Machine, as it were former IWGP champions. And yeah, I think Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson were as well, but the match was awesome. You had Carl Anderson and Raymond Rowe start off, and very good show. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, Luke Gallows had the makeup on. You had this really odd thing where Hanson put, I believe it was Luke Harper, I could be wrong, in a headlock and took his beard and almost rubbed it on his face, which I thought was unique. This was a really good back and forth. The OC won the match, and yeah, it was pretty cool. We had the gauntlet match to start off the show for the Tuwaiq Trophy. It's the Tuwaiq Mountains, which was in Saudi Arabia somewhere. Or, well, Reddick, I guess. You had R-Truth and Bobby Lashley starting the match. This was actually really good, and to see Bobby Lashley come out with Lana, who was in this gold, I guess, sorry, I don't know. It looked really good, but this match actually was surprising. R-Truth beat Bobby Lashley. Andrade made his return. He's still United States champion, so him and R-Truth had a really good match. And of course, they connected the wrong way, and they headbutt each other. R-Truth beat Andrade. So then Eric Rowan came in, and he was the one that actually beat R-Truth, and AJ Styles came in, and then he hit, I believe, the cab crusher on Eric, and he's waiting for what was supposed to be Rey Mysterio. So he's looking at the screen. Rey's music comes on, and AJ's laughing, like, where's Rey? And somehow I kind of knew that the OC were backstage beating him up. And so his music plays a couple times, and of course AJ's laughing, so we know something's up. Of course, they shoot to backstage, and of course, you have Rey on the floor, and the OC are beating the shit out of Rey. And then it goes back. AJ is still in the ring. It goes to the referee counting, and then of course I didn't think he was halfway. The screen comes on and the OC are on the floor, and I thought, okay, this is interesting. And there's these black boots walking across the screen and a trench coat, and I'm like, huh, okay, this will be interesting. Okay, so I got AJ kind of worried. The lights go out and the bong hits, and out comes the Undertaker with probably one of the best entrances of his I've seen in a long time. Of course, there's a lot of pyro and fireworks at the show, so that's a really nice touch. So Taker comes in. He doesn't even take the trench coat off or the hat off, and he goes for the choke slam, pins AJ Styles, and wins the trophy. Now the trophy itself kind of looks like, well, it's yellow. It's nothing really special. It kind of looks like a pissicle, but I have no idea. So Taker leaves the ring, doesn't take the trophy with him, and he heads back to the gorilla. And this was a good match too. And I think that Undertaker is one of those guys that he's a hit or miss. I mean, he's in his 50s and he has this whole thing of, will he come back, won't he come back? I don't think he'll be back at WrestleMania. At least I'm sure he won't. I mean, I think he's done now at this point. He wasn't at last year's WrestleMania, so at this point, I think he just makes appearances, whips some ass, and that's it. Yet the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of the New Day taking on The Miz and Morrison. This match was really good too. I think Miz and Morrison haven't lost a step. And it was said that Morrison coming back kind of elevates The Miz and makes The Miz like he was when he was WWE Champion. And I thought that was pretty interesting. There was a sick bump where Kofi leapt off the ring onto the outside, going to hit John. John moves out of the way, and fucking Kofi Kingston lands on the mat back first. And that fucking was cringy. That was crazy. Of course, Big E gets knocked down. Kofi got back in the ring and tried to beat The Miz. Of course, something happened. I can't remember what it was. Kofi was trying to go for a finisher, and Miz threw him to the ropes where John kind of hit him with a chair. And that's when The Miz rolled Kofi up. And your new tag team champions, The Miz and Morrison. So that's kind of what I expected, I think. It would have been nice if they waited until maybe Elimination Chamber, but okay, fine. It is what it is. You have Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo, and this match was brutal. I mean, a lot of these matches were hard hitting, and it's like almost you felt it. But yeah, these two always seem to put on good matches. However, Garza won, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. I was expecting Zelina to come out and see what she was going to wear. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened, and she wasn't either for Angel Garza or Andrade, so not quite sure. You had Rollins and Murphy versus the Street Profits, and this was awesome too. And I gave the credit to the Street Profits. They really showed a lot of good moves in this match, a lot of reversals and shit, and it was really cool. And of course, Rollins and Murphy won the match and are still the tag team champions. Now that doesn't mean like I said in the review, the Street Profits won't get a tag team title shot again and actually win the titles. I just think that this was the right call. Obviously, this was their first time going for the title. And so yeah, I don't think they really needed this. But we'll see what happens in the future. You have Dolph Ziggler versus Saudi Arabia's own, well, I guess, Riddick own Mansoor. And of course, I mean, this is one of those things where I find that McMahon is the type of person to have, well, the hometown guy. I guess it's a little bit different nowadays, but the hometown guy usually loses. Now, Mansoor, this is his third match in Reddick, so, well, on WWE territory, but this match was pretty cool. Of course, Bobby got ejected after trying to interfere, but yeah, this match was awesome. Of course, Mansoor won, and yeah, I don't like Dolph Ziggler anyway, so there it is. I had the WWE Championship match, and Ricochet hit the ring, and Brock Lesnar hit the ring. They both were announced, and the match happened, and suplex, and suplex, and suplex, F5, and Brock Lesnar's still a champion. Now, this is good. I mean, like, Ricochet does not need to be in the main event level yet. He doesn't. Maybe another United States Championship run, or maybe go to Raw or SmackDown and win the Intercontinental Championship. But right now, Ricochet does not need to be the WWE Champion. So, we're going to see Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. So, that's a good thing. And I'm praising Brock Lesnar, which is fucking weird. You had the steel cage match with Roman Reigns and King Corbin, and really expected this to be a shit show like last year when Roman was in the cage with Shane. This was pretty good. It was going to start off like that, you know. Roman got his ass kicked, and Baron was actually going to leave. Now, before the match, Roman had the chain, tied it to the door and the chain just to lock them in. But Roman somehow got the chain off and had the door open. That didn't happen. Now they fought back and forth. Roman got his face grated a little bit. They were on the top of the cage, and yeah, you thought maybe you would see Baron power bomb, or a super power bomb to Roman on the mat from the cage, and that didn't happen. So yeah, a spear, of course. Roman saw the cage that Baron was gonna actually use to mock Roman, and he ended up doing a Superman punch, and for the win. So let's can the shit. Let's just stop right now, and that's it. This feud is done. This feud is the shits now. Come on, let's move on. So you had the SmackDown Women's Championship match with Bayley and Naomi. Now, when we did the review, we didn't actually know what was going to happen. And Bayley was in the corner of Carmella and Naomi. And yeah, Naomi won the chance to see Bayley at Super Showdown. So this match was actually really good. They both, well, Bayley took most of the, beating up Naomi. So, yeah, they both took turns, but it was Bayley that mostly was dominant. And he almost had Bayley do that whole thing where she used to do the, I don't know what the fuck that move is, but she basically did the Bayley to belly for the win. She's still the women's champion, so I'm not sure where they're going to go from here. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, you have the match, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Goldberg. And this match, I thought was going to be a short match, just like Lesnar and Ricochet, but they had a few back and forth. They had Bray do the mandible claw a couple times. You had a spear that Goldberg gave to Bray. Went for a pin attempt, didn't get it. Did another spear. And then, of course, he did the mandible claw. Of course, Goldberg did another spear, followed by a jackhammer, and the win. Goldberg is now your new Universal Champion. And like I said, I really enjoy the blue. I mean, that's my favorite color, obviously. I'm not wearing blue, but this was a good match. And it opens up a lot of possibilities because tomorrow night you've got John Cena. He's going to come back. I don't believe he's been on SmackDown forever. It's always Raw. And this is John's thing. This is what John does. So I can't wait to see what happens. So, yeah, John Cena's coming back. And I guarantee you, and I know that I make the predictions, and the majority of it I'm right. WrestleMania is going to have Goldberg versus John Cena for the Universal Championship, and that's my predictions. Now, I was going to say that Undertaker was going to come back to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania, but it looks like we've already seen that, so... Anyways, this was a really good show, and hopefully we're going to find out more. There's a possibility that Trish Stratus and Sasha Banks are going to wrestle at WrestleMania, but who knows. But anyways, it was a good show. It was a really good show. And we're out to WrestleMania, baby. Deuces.